Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday here. My name is Dale Sams. I'm a professional storm chaser and NOAA Storm Chaser here to give you all a quick video breakdown of today's severe weather setup here across Nebraska, Iowa, and the Northern Plains. Here, so let's go ahead here around and show you the current satellite and surface map here. All right, and what we're seeing here across the Northern Plains, you see there's all these boundaries, low pressures, and all that stuff, okay? But mainly focused here across here South Dakota, here to Iowa and Nebraska, okay? Just in this general region, all right, because we do have some showers and thunderstorms that are moving through across South Dakota here, and there's even mesoscale discussions regarding heavy rainfall across those areas. Here, and then we have a few showers and thunderstorms here along this boundary here that's going to be monitored here throughout the rest of the day here before new storms develop. All right. So again, here's the current look at the radar across northeast Kansas and even southeast Nebraska here. Some thunder showers here, thunderstorms, but doesn't pose a big threat right now to severe weather. But some brief heavy downpours are possible. All right. Today's severe weather setup here, again, mainly across the Northern Plains, even stretching into portions of the Northeast. But the most focused area for severe weather today is going to be across Nebraska and Iowa here. Eastern Nebraska, and western Iowa. All right. So, oops, sorry, that was my bad. Tornado risk here today, not high end by any stretch of the imagination. Here, an isolated tornado is possible. Damaging winds is going to be, once again, the primary severe threat here across eastern Nebraska and western Iowa, 60, 65 plus miles per hour. And you can even see here that some of the damaging wind risk does enter portions of extreme northeast Kansas and northwest Missouri here. So we'll dive more into what to expect storm-wise here in a minute. And then the hail threat, again, some 2-inch hail possible across Nebraska and even into South Dakota. Okay, so now taking a look here at the latest HRRR model here, or I'd say 13Z HRRR model. This is for 6 p.m. this evening, and you see this is where new area of supercells develop here across eastern Nebraska, western Iowa, here, and even portions of extreme or northern northwest Missouri. Could have an isolated cell or two, but again, that's going to be posing the damaging wind and hail threat, and that's going to be the main hazards across area wide here, okay? And then as storms start to grow upscale here, they start to move more of a linear cluster, fashion, and even move into starting to get into the neck of the woods here of northeast Kansas. And again, this is going to be mainly the damaging wind potential. Now, exactly how far south these cluster of storms get here, because now this is showing 1 a.m. and you see it starts to get into northeast Kansas, northwest Missouri, starts to get into even portions of the Kansas City area here late tonight into early Saturday. Here, and then you see it just starts clipping here basically from North Kansas City north. So that's going to be mainly from, I would say, I-70 north in terms of Kansas and Missouri, but overall here, Iowa, Nebraska here, storm structures or storm mode is going to be initially supercell and then grow upscale into a line and then move south. So that's what to expect here for this region today. Okay, so I've talked about this earlier in the week about our current weather pattern and how it's favored the northern plains for so many days here, and now you can see the pattern starting to get flattened out a little bit here, starting to get stagnant, and because again we're going to be going through a pattern change this weekend here, so you see it starts to bring some of the best storm flow here across portions of the Central Plains, Missouri Valley here, and versus closer lines, gradient lines here, and more of that northern tier, okay? With the high pressure starting to move off here to the southeast and Carolina coast here. Okay, so we're going to continue to see that, and then going into the second week of July here, and I showed you this earlier in the week, where high pressure starts to build here across the Rockies, desert Southwest, which will continue to fuel daily fire risks here, wildfire risk, because it's dry out there, and it's going to continue to stay dry here across portions of the Rockies and the desert Southwest, while the favored storm pattern starts to favor more of the Pacific Northwest up into the northern plains, dropping down into the Missouri, Mississippi Valley, and then even portions of the Northeast there. Okay, so that's the current breakdown for today's severe weather threat and what's potentially ahead. The big difference here with the current setup that we are in to one that is expected to form starting the second half of Independence Day weekend here is that as we get into next week, it will be a little bit cooler here, part of the middle part of the country and northern tier, but also it'll bring more storm chances here. So for like places here in Kansas City here, seeing more storm chances next week. I'm more keeping an eye on late next week into next weekend here. The malls have been pretty consistent that may be our next real chance of severe weather. I'll monitor the severe threat overnight tonight and even tomorrow's setup, because tomorrow's setup is pretty interesting too. And I'll go ahead and just show you. Give me a second to bring this up. I'll use this model, and there's this page. And I'm just going to show you here what from NAM solution here, okay? I'll show you NAM solution for tomorrow. Okay, so this particular model solution doesn't have, tonight's storms, it doesn't even really, it shows it forming there, but it shows a lot more further west than what the HRRR model solution is showing here, and by 10 a.m. tomorrow, and then everything fizzles out. And then it just kind of stagnant here across the plains here. So tomorrow's best rain chance is going to be across the Mid-Atlantic and the East Coast here versus here on the plains. So, but again, as we get into next week, the pattern will change. So more on that as we get closer. And if you're going to be outside today, traveling and going through an area of severe weather that's forecasted, have your severe weather safety plan. Have a reliable source to receive watches and warnings. And if you're a place like here in Kansas City where you're seeing no storms, but you are seeing the extreme heat continue to build here, if you're going to be outside, be wise, be smart here. And as always, again, just remain safe while out and about here this Independence Day weekend, and while there's extreme heat and severe weather forecasted here. So sorry for the late video today here. Got behind this morning. So, but that's today's breakdown of severe weather, and we'll see you next time.